Hey guys, Mike here from Bini Outdoors. Welcome to Breaking Bomo episode 2. So if you guys aren't familiar with this series, I'm going to put a link to the first video up here. I'm not going to redo everything, every video. So if you guys want to know what this series is about, go watch that video up there and then come back and watch this video after. For those of you who are returning, welcome back and welcome to a new level of controversy for me. I went fishing yesterday, took a day off from work, decided I was going to take the rowboat out to a different body of water, and well, I had an electrical fire. So the trolling motor that's on my rowboat is now dead. I'm not going to be able to use it. It's got some sort of connectivity issue or something going on, and it is smoking every time I try to turn it on. So that means we're back to the kayak. So I'm going to have limited mobility. I'm not going to be able to cover as much water, but you know what? That's how I predominantly fish, so why not get back to my roots, get in the kayak, and do my best. Quick recap of the last video. I did fish zone 1. Now I'm going to rezone all of the lake because I'm not going to be able to cover as much water without the motor. So I'm going to show you guys the zone that we're fishing today. We're calling this zone 2. I'm going to put a map up here. So I've kind of split the lake in half, lengthwise instead of widthwise. The reason I did that is because this is a shoreline. I'll be able to work up and back and not have to go all the way across a mile to get to the other side to be able to fish both sides. So we're going to split the lake up. We're going to fish zone 2 today. This zone is a bluff wall, rocky road edge, and then it leads into a bay that is a fairly grassy, somewhat shallow flat, and then there's an island in the middle that I may fish depending on how much energy I have when I get up there. So today's game plan, we're actually going to be trying to use more reaction style baits. We do have some cloud cover. It's a little bit cooler, so I'm really hoping that that's going to make a big difference. That first episode, it was extremely hot. There was zero chop in the water. There's really not a ton of wind today, but there is a lot of cloud cover and definitely about 15 degrees cooler this morning. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to go hit the water, guys. We're going to start pretty much right next to the ramp, start working our way through and see if we can figure this place out. All right, guys, we are starting right at the ramp. That's one mistake I think a lot of guys make when they break down a new body of water is they omit the ramp area. And that's a huge mistake. There's a lot of fish and a lot of big fish they'll hang out right next to the ramp, and I think a lot of that has to do with humans forget that they can fish there and it doesn't get as much pressure. But what we're doing is we're rolling a perch colored square bill. It's actually a mock baits bouncer is what it's called. I've had good success with this particular bait for smallmouth and largemouth. This area has a little bit of submergent grass, but not a ton of submergent grass. So there's a good little rocky hard bottom. It's a good area for smallmouth to congregate. You know, it's a good area for a lot of different species to congregate. So I'm hoping that with the cloud cover, those fish moved up shallow. Maybe they're looking to feed. We're looking at 73-degree water temps. So it's not super cold. Now keep in mind, I'm going to be fishing a tournament here in 3 weeks. And the water temp is probably going to have a significant drop at that time. But right now, the water temps are getting close almost to that fall feed up stage. We're getting to that point in the north where we're going to have a really good few weeks, or possibly at least week, the way the weather has been, where those bass are starting to feed up for the winter time. They're starting to get ready and fill their bellies, getting ready for the long cold winter. So I'm hoping that maybe that'll happen during the tournament, but if it doesn't, we definitely need to account for being able to fish finesse as well. My finesse plan is I'm going to start with the tried true tested wacky rig. That's going to be my first bait that I'm going to use for finesse, but very quickly I'm going to switch. That's a fish right there, guys, right by the ramp. I told you. Okay, that's interesting. That is a good sign, guys. Hell yeah, that's a really good fish, guys. No, I'm hooked very good. Yeah. Well, guys, that is exactly what we wanted. I'll be right back with you with the rest of the strategy. 16 and a half. There you go, guys. 16 and a half inch. All right, guys, so that right there was caught on this bait right here. This is a bait I've had a ton of success with. It's actually a mock baits bouncer. It's a perch style. I think they call it like ghost perch or something like that. And that was a significant fish catch. The reason for that is actually the biggest fish I have caught in this body of water, which is saying something because this place is actually well renowned for having both big smallmouth and big largemouth. So this place has both species in quality and quantity, and I just suck at it. And that's the point of this series. Now, just because I caught one fish, I do not consider that a successful series. I want to be able to come to this lake and have a good idea of what the fish are doing. I want to be able to actually almost call my shot. I want to be able to at least catch 2 or 3 fish of that quality that I just caught almost every time I come out. And that's really the point of this series. So stay tuned, because we're going to have a lot of episodes until I'm able to really dial in this lake. A little bit of information I didn't give you guys in the last episode. This lake is 2,400 acres. It is not a small lake. It is a very, very large lake. It is heavily populated with reg boats, docks, and fishermen, anglers of all sizes. It is a trout lake, so a lot of trout trolling, guys. It is a deep lake in the middle. So there's a lot of details to this body of water, and there's going to be so much for me to have to learn to be able to be consistent here. But that is a right step. But that is a step in the right direction. That is the first fish of the day, and really, really early, right next to the boat ramp. The boat ramp is literally right behind me. That is the best situation that you could ask for. The conditions definitely called for the square bill. The square bill worked, so it tells me that that is a pattern that will probably play in the future. We're going to keep with the strategy though. We're going to work our way along the shoreline. I may switch things up and go to a paddle tail as well, just to get that finesse as well as the square bill and the loud bait. And we're just going to keep working our way along and see if we can pick up some more of those fish.
Wow, he hit that right on the surface, dude. That's crazy. I don't even think I have him hooked. Like, that's a weird hook job, man. Oh, I got him hooked real weird. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. I think that's a smallmouth. It is. It's a decent little smallmouth. It's a decent little smallmouth, guys.
There we go, guys. Not a monster smallmouth, but a pretty looking fish, guys. Hell yeah. And he is free. Probably 14-inch smallie. Caught on another square bill. So square bills are definitely going to be a thing that plays. That one right there is actually a tournament significant square bill for me. It is the smaller version of the 13 scamp right there that I caught my PB smallmouth on at a previous tournament. So if you guys want to see that video, I'll put a link up here. But that's a good sign, guys. That fish was hooked good too. That FX rod, that moderate rod really saved the day for me there, because I had him hooked in a weird way. But that flex and that moderate rod really saved my butt. But that's 2 fish now, probably a 14-incher or so. And that's a good quality fish for, you know, starting out a tournament. I don't know if it'll help me win a tournament, but it's definitely 2 of the biggest fish I've caught on this lake back to back. Little fish. Not a monster. Chunky little guy, but not a bad little fish. I don't even know if he would be legal for a tournament. Yeah, he's just barely 12 inches, so he would count for the event, but would not be
you know, something I would hope to get, because in a tournament that's going to be probably called pretty early. But that is the third fish that I've caught. It's actually, again, the third largest fish that I've caught so far on this lake. So we switched things up, went with a black Berkeley Maxent General. The main reason for that is because the Maxent General, the color, that matte color of that bait, combined with the fact that it's cloudy and really high visibility, that contrast to that black bait makes it look as natural as possible. I really like using a solid black bait because it doesn't look like anything. It could be just about anything, but it doesn't have a super different color. It doesn't look unintrusive. It's just kind of a bait that you can kind of throw no matter what. I actually just had a fish on that one too. It's a bait that you can kind of throw in any condition, in my opinion. I don't think it's limited to dark colored water. I don't think it's limited to any particular scenario. I'm finding that solid black is my go-to color, other than like June bug. I actually don't throw a lot of green pumpkin. It's not a color that I have a lot of success with, but black seems to do it for me in every condition. So that's what we're doing. We're working a raft, a short shoreline here, and then we're gonna probably head over back through the same areas we just fished with some reaction style baits again, see what we can figure out. But so far, guys, again, I've had 3 fish in this shoreline alone. So zone 2 has been the most successful zone so far during this show, and honestly in my entire fishing career on this lake. So I guess we're gonna stay at it and see if I can pick up some more. Hey, bro. It's like the worst freaking. Damn. Hooked me. I knew it. Ah, damn it. Mother. There you go, guys. Ah. Well, got me. All right, guys, I think I found my favorite area so far. What we're looking at is it's kind of a grass flat, but it has a really deep water access. It's got submergent grass, but not like jungle grass. If you know what I mean by that, is it's so thick that you can't get anything through it unless you're throwing like a punch rig. This is not that. This is vertical grass that there's a lot of holes. There's a lot of space where there's just no grass at all, or just like grooves in there, right? I love that kind of area. It's submergent grass, so there is space between the water column. You know, there's water above the grass, which means I could work a swim jig, I could work a chatterbait, a square bill even. You know, there's a lot of opportunities for different techniques. So this is going to be an area that I'm going to highlight and basically, you know, say this is an area that I think has great potential. It's an area that I think, I'll be honest, is going to be more productive early in the morning and late at night. It's definitely a area where the bait fish are going to move in and hang out, but right now it's the middle of the day, and I think a lot of the fish have just shut down for the day. They're done feeding, they're gone back to where they hang out throughout the day to get away from the boat traffic, and they'll probably become active later on. So this is going to be the edge of zone 2. I'm going to draw you guys a map right here. So you guys are going to see right here, this is the zone 2 section. I'm going to fish all the way to the end of it, and then I'm going to work my way back down this shoreline. It's pretty much just going to be one main shoreline, and then I'm going to change. The zone 3 is actually going to be the bay directly in front of me. So that's going to be the next area that I'm probably going to fish in the next episode. It's a larger bay, it's a little bit shallow, and it's going to be a grassy flat that has a lot of docks along the backside, as well as an island that I need to fish. That's kind of the key to zone 3, is that there's this island that has shallow water around it with deep water access, and that's going to be the predominant area that I fish in episode 3. I want to thank you guys for coming along with me on this video. I really appreciate you taking time to watch this. I hope you're liking this series. I know it's a little different than the content that I usually put out. I'm kind of showing you guys the bad and the good together. This is me struggling. Today, I'm going to chart it as a success. I did catch bigger fish, but I didn't catch a ton of fish. And the ones I did catch were mostly small, which is what I've been experiencing. I couldn't find any major consistency, so I don't think that I've really conquered this lake yet. Definitely have a lot of work ahead of me, but I'm making steps in the right direction. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and as always, let's get out there, catch more fish.